Hello everyone, welcome back to Different Spirits. We are tasting out some new distilleries. Last flight, which I just tasted an hour ago, I just had some chips to kind of get some carbs in me and sober up. Last flight was the Lowlanders. Today we are doing mostly Highlands, starting off with an Islander, and really pretty far out as Islanders go. The Hearach from the Isle of Harris, way out in the Outer Hebrides. And by the way, can I just point out, I hate this box so much. How am I supposed to carry this? Like, look at that. This is like Baijiu levels of like crappy, annoying packaging. I hate it. Anyways, the Hearach. This is the first Fill Oloroso Cask Matured version. And let us never speak of that packaging again. And then I have got, kind of hard to tell, but this is from Strathearn. Very probably the smallest distillery in Scotland. I had to do some wheeling and dealing for this bottle. I got it from a friend who was cleaning out his stuff. But I am very excited to try this. And a Nc'Nean. Or is it Nc'Nean? I don't really know. But Nc'Nean, another Highlander. This is the organic cask strength. And into the bottle, into the glass it goes. All right. There we are. That is your lineup for this second flight here. All right. Hearach, 46% alcohol by volume, non-chill filtered and natural color, all that stuff. Oloroso Cask Matured. These three, I have not tried anything from any of these distilleries before, so I'm going in completely blind. Let's see what we got. Okay, first impression is lovely. So yeah, there's a fair bit of sherry going into this. I am definitely getting some Swisher Sweets. I'm getting some chocolate orange. I am getting a little bit of like an not beef bouillon. What is that? It just smells a little bit like an old steak. An old steak that you left next to a chocolate orange is kind of the vibe here. But behind that, there is some really enjoyable, like, salted apple. Is that a thing? Sure, let's go with that. Like, yeah, salted apple. Certainly a minerality, like some seashells, crushed seashells. Lightly grainy. I'm getting a little bit of like a... Not what am I thinking of? Not Panda Puffs. It's the other one. Let's go Captain Crunch. Graininess. There is like a little teeny tiny... I can't even tell what that is. I think it's peat. A little teeny tiny whiff of peat, but it could just as well be like a slightly like smoky minerality. That's confusing in my brain. No, I think that's a little whiff of peat. Yeah, I'm enjoying the minerality on this. There's a little bit of like a wildfire kind of smell, like a fire on the savannah, but mixed with some wet rocks, wet stones, pear, a little drizzle of like clover honey, spring honey. and like a candied nutty thing, like a marzipan thing. Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like, it feels like a happy marriage between a fairly active set of Oloroso casks and like a maritime distillate that's kind of willing to show what it's got on the palate. Lovely. I mean, it's so. What are you getting here? You're getting. Let's talk about the distillate first. It's a very fruity, grainy distillate with some rocks and some peat. I am getting a little bit of a mash of mostly pear, maybe like one cider apple thrown in there. Mostly pear, though. Throw those in a bucket and mash it all up. Throw like a little touch of, what is that? Some kind of lighter fruit, like let's say an apricot, like one apricot in there. Mash that up too. Throw some wet rocks, some seashells in there, and just a dash of brininess, like some little seawater in there, and just mash all that up. Throw some peat in as well. And yeah, drizzle all of that over some like hearty bread, some like peasant bread, and some Cap'n Crunch. And that's kind of the vibe on the distillate here. And then you're going to take all of that and you're going to throw in the sherry influence, which is, in this case, it's a very figgy kind of sherry with a little bit of Swisher Sweets and touch of chocolate orange, touch of like old steak. It's not very peppery. There's a little bit of white pepper in this, but not too much. Lightly nutty, but it's not real nuts. It's like wine nuts. It's like a little bit of a Fino sherry kind of character on this. Okay. I mean, given this profile, there's that little twinge of peat in there too, like heathery peat. Given this profile, you would think I would be able to recommend this to like Highland Park, like Springbanky people. I don't think I could. This is too clean. This is too like, it's not bringing the kind of grunge and the oiliness and the little weird unroasted nuts thing that I would expect from like a Springbank kind of style. But like, if you who would enjoy this? If you're a fan of like the cleaner side of Talisker, some of the special releases, some of the sherry cask things. If you are a fan of, well, yeah, like sherried Highland Park, that's still kind of showing its peatiness, this might be your thing. This is decent, but it's a clean malt that still shows its kind of maritime peaty roots. I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that. I'm sorry, my brain is a little bit fried. Let's move on to glass number 2, which is both very exciting and a little bit scary because this is a Strathearn, which is, I think, a Midlander, but it's the Douglas Lang Distillery. It's tiny. They only fill up these tiny barrels, and this one happens to be a port cask, and a fairly small port cask at that. There's only 116 bottles of this. 7 years of age, distilled 2014. 52.9% alcohol. This was bottled by the Thompson Brothers folks under their 7 cask series. I would be shocked if you could still get this, but take this as an indication of what else you might see out there. All right. No idea what this is going to be like. Let's see. Okay. All right. I was expecting a bomb of, like, you know, red fruit IHOP syrups and, like, herbs, and that's not really what this is. It's actually very, like, measured, and the distillate is kind of coming through pretty brightly. Lot of orange on this, like different kinds of orange. So you got some like navel orange characteristics. You're getting a little bit of like a bergamot characteristic coming through. Very intensely grainy as well. Really like kind of like burned oatmeal kind of thing. Okay. Rocks, mud. Certainly some black pepper. And it's like over that basis. A little bit of apple cheese in there too, actually. Yep, some apple cheese. On all that, you're going to pour a little bit of like a cough syrup kind of character. What kind of cough syrup? Hard to nail down. Like Robitussin? A little Robitussin. And yeah, there's a little bit of cherry, but it's not like fake IHOP syrup cherry. This smells like actual cherry. Is it lightly herbaceous? Yeah, there's some like there's a little bit of basil popping in there, a little bit of like an oregano thing, but there's also some flowers kind of hopping around. This is an interesting, appealing, complex nose. It is not dominated by the port, or I don't know, maybe I've just been having the wrong port cask. This is nice. On the palate. Oh. Hang on one sec. Sorry, the boy who lives underneath us decided that I need to be delivered the packages at our door immediately and personally. So I now have those. They're sitting over there. I like this. Same kind of energy. You can tell what the distillate is. It has not been, buried under the port here. You've got a really orangey-grainy distillate. I'm guessing if you had a less, a less, not aggressive, is not the right term. A more standard cask. Let's put it that way. This would, kind of fall into the same kind of flavor profile as like an Edgedour, a Deanston, maybe a Dalwhinnie. I mean, it is a Midlander. I'm getting a lot of orange on this. Orange, rocks, a certain fun grunginess. Grainy stuff, oatmeal, multigrain bread. Pear, a little bit of apple, apple cheese, really. And then you just have some nice kind of porty elements playing into that. Really leaning heavily into the the cough syrup Robitussin side of things. Yeah. Take some Robitussin, take some cough syrup, put some fresh cherries in there, and a little bit of like, freshly ground pepper. And that's pretty much what this tastes like. But just on top of that kind of orangey-grainy, minerally distillate. Still a young malt. I mean, the presence is not, stellar. Complexity is not, in the stratosphere or anything. But I'm enjoying this. This is a delight, and I am. When I had to grab this because it's a Strathearn, and there just aren't that many of them, and I just wonder what is a port cask going to do to this poor malt? It's going to work very, very well with it, actually. So I am pleasantly surprised. Just one more dash, and we'll move on. Okay, glass number 3. And we are still in the Highlands. We're going to the west. This is basically right across from the Isle of Mull, if that gives you some idea. Nc'Nean, or Nc'Nean, I don't know. Organic, cask-strength, single malt Scotch whiskey. I don't know much about this distillery. I think it was, finance people were involved in this. But, very green and responsible and stuff. And they use a lot of STR casks, apparently. So I am super duper curious to see what this is about. 59% alcohol by volume. Yep, here we go. Oh, geez. I mean, you can smell the red wine. I mean, it is not subtle. Oh. So, yeah. A lot of, where do I start with this? So there is a Grappa element to this, actually. There's a little bit of like a pommacy, stemmy, tobacco and, like tea leaves kind of character to this. With a little bit of a red fruit character. So tea leaves and tobacco mixed with like chopped strawberry or something. Slightly unripe strawberry. Also very grassy. There's a lot of not grassy, like basil, wet leaves. Kind of thrown around in there. Black pepper. Some cinnamon. Oh, I don't know if I like it. It's. I like Grappa. I really do. I like pomace brandy, but this. I mean, this. It really smells like just. Well, exactly what it is. Like they strip down a whole bunch of red wine casks and they recharge them, and there you go. I'm getting a little bit of like a dried pear thing. Some multigrain bread. Come on, give me something like dirty raisins, maybe? What else? There's like a white wine note in this. I'm trying to nail down what kind of white wine. Oh, there's some rocks in this too. There's a little bit of minerality. In some ways, this smells like a not so great Pinot Grigio from like northern Italy or something. It just didn't get enough sun, something like that. Some lemon peel. I mean, I like some of these notes, but man, it doesn't smell particularly balanced. Let's put it that way, which is often my trouble with casks that have spent a lot of time with red wine on the palate. One of the better grappas I've had in a while. Let's start with that. It's going to be heresy for someone, but yeah, let's start with that. That is, it presents grappa, is what it does. It really presents like there's some apple, pear, apricot in there, and then like just tons of mixed tobaccos, tea leaves, green stuff, basil leaves. Apricot, chopped up like unripe strawberry, black pepper. I don't know, y'all. This is kind of growing on me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. There's some awkward notes, especially not so much in the finish actually, but on the front end. Yeah, there's some weirdness going on. You got some like weird mutant fennel stuff going on. What is that? Here's the thing. I'm not sure it's all the cask. I'm not sure it's all the cask that's going on. But once you move past that, I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm enjoying it as a grappa, which is probably not what the majority of the people who are shopping for this are looking for. But lemon peel, rocks, pool water. I mean, as a single malt, kind of an awkward character, but I don't think I hate it. I honestly don't. I want to see what it does with water, and we'll go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 59. I will tell you this. In a blind, I am not calling like Scotland on that. I'm probably not even calling whiskey on that. All right, let's go back through these. Hearach, Oloroso. Yeah, it's hard to hate. Rocks, some fruit, some honey, graininess, a little bit of sherry on it, a little bit of peat kind of creeping in to give color, and that's it. Not a whole lot of development from where it was. And that's kind of okay, I guess, on the palate. It is good, though. And it picks up a little bit with water. That's nice. I don't know, just a very well made maritime spirit. Again, I have to think about like some of the cleaner Taliskers out there, some of the sherried but still like more peaty Highland Parks out there. We're in that kind of zone. The main effect of the water on this is to extend the finish and just give it a little bit more of an oily texture too, but mainly the finish. I'm kind of impressed with this. Yeah, okay. Score-wise, geez. It's certainly better than an 85. I can't find an 87. I can't do it. But I will definitely call this an 86 plus out of 100. Yeah, okay. I deeply despise the display box monstrosity, whatever the hell that is, but I cannot deny this is a pretty good malt. Moving on. Strathearn. I swear every time I stick my nose into this, I'm expecting to be just smacked in the face with like red fruit IHOP syrups and leafy stuff. And that's not what it is. It's just a really nice marriage between this cask, whatever kind of port this was, and this particular spirit, which is very orangey. If anything, the kind of desserty factor on this, there's a brown sugar element to this, which has really started to play itself up. But, you know, we keep the rocks, we keep the fruit, the orange, the pear. That's all still in there. It's also very peppery. Okay, on the palate. I think this works. God help me, I think this works. Yeah, this is kind of delightful, honestly. Grainy orangey distillate interwoven with cough syrup, a little bit of red fruit, a little bit of herbaceousness, lots of pepper. And yeah, like a brown sugary thing that the water's bringing out. Legit. Is it better than the Hearach? Hold on. I think it might be better. Damn it, it's better. No, I don't want to give the port cask a good score. Every so often. And usually it's with like longer secondary maturation or just full, single maturation. Every so often I get a port cask that I really, really enjoy. And here you are. Here's one of those cases. This is Just a lovely little whiskey. I'm going to give this 87 points. And yeah, I would love to try more from this distillery, but I got to be honest. I bought this thing because it was the only Strathearn I had access to, and it was off a guy who was just throwing off his collection. And I really dreaded I wouldn't like it because of the cask, and I was wrong. I really quite like this. 87 points. And the Nc'Nean. It's a mess in a lot of ways. But I gotta say, if you go to this looking for pomace brandy rather than, single malt Scotch, it kind of works. It kind of works. Changes from where the nose was before? Absolutely not. Like, we are still on like weird dried fruit, tobacco stems, tea leaves. Some red fruit, black pepper, weird herbal stuff. And a little bit of graininess. Yeah, it's very far indeed from a traditional nose. But maybe that's okay. On the palate, there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of your viewers out there who would taste this and put it in the 70s, if not lower. And depending on their criteria, I don't know if I could fight with that. Like, this does not taste like a categorically proper Highland single malt Scotch. We're just in a different category here. It really tastes like a Grappa. But if you accept that it is, an ugly duckling, does it have some complexity? Yeah, not too much, but it's there. Does it have mouth presence? Yeah, I wish the length were a little bit, more intense. I wish the texture was a little bit nicer. But it's got a little something. For those who are adventurous, or for people who are just looking for grappas out there, even if it doesn't say grappa on the bottle, this could totally be your thing. I'm going to call this, I do think it's losing the flight, but it's losing with some honor. I'm going to call this an 85 caution. Warning sign, warning emoji, because that's kind of where this is. I think the quality is reasonable. It's not bad. It's actually kind of good. But you have to accept that this is not really a single malt as we know it. This is a different kind of thing. And if you're willing to roll with that and kind of go with it where this thing is going, it's okay. So yeah, there is your lineup. Your second flight of new distilleries. 85 caution emoji for this Nc'Nean. Jesus. That is the chips getting their revenge on me. 85 caution sign for this Nc'Nean. A very solid grappa. Let's leave it at that. And then 86 plus for this Hearach Oloroso. It's, I mean, if you know if you're going to like this. If you like sherried Highland Park, if you like the more decadent side of Talisker, this is your jam. And then this Strathearn in a port cask of all things kind of stole my heart a little bit. 87 points. You're never going to see it, but just take this as an endorsement of this particular style, and to some extent the distillery, I guess. And yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching, and cheers.